G'day, I'm Justin Porter. I'm on the bus, and thank you for everybody's support and the kind thoughts for Nicole. I really appreciate living in 2025 when we've got modern technology like Skype. I got a phone call this morning by Colin Zafke. Thanks, Colin. I really appreciate the call that you gave me this morning. Really cheered me up, gave me comfort, and thank you everyone who's been giving me support in the comments, and how grateful we are that we got YouTube and we don't live in 1976. It would have been awful after 1975 debacle to have no contact. All you had in 1976 was a telephone, and that's all you had in 1976 was a telephone, a landline. But now we have this modern technology. Been worse still in 1981 when mandatory shunning was first introduced. And so we're very lucky that we have modern technology. And thank you for everyone for their comments. And I'll do you some filming. I'm here in Brisbane and where I live, and it's a rainy old day here. Pretty grey and drizzly, but it's good to be alive, and I wouldn't be dead for quids. And life really is a beautiful gift, and we won the lottery of life. Everyone who's watching, we won the lottery of life. We got to be born, we got to experience consciousness, and however bad life may get, it's not so bad, and it could always be worse. It's not, some days are good, some days are bad, some days you're really down, some days you're happy as Larry, and so make the most of life. And Nicole will be staying in hospital until Friday, because on Friday they want to put a catheter in her heart, or stint. I'm not too sure. She said stint or catheter or stint. One of the two. It was either a catheter or a stint, and I don't know if that involves surgery. I think they can just put it in with a needle. And Nikki's got the hospitalisation committee. A brother came to visit her yesterday and prayed with her. And I wonder if he prayed that he wouldn't get infected with my mentally diseased apostate heart. Infected, And Nikki said, oh, he'd be nice to you, Justin. The hospitalisation committee brother would be nice to you. And I thought, oh yeah. Well, so, and it's funny, I said to Nicole, I said, what if I die? No, just say, what if you die? How would they treat me at your funeral? And she said, oh, they'd be nice to you at my funeral. Oh, they'd be nice to you, Justin. And I said, really? Would they shun me with tears in their eyes instead of daggers? They shun me with tears in their eyes instead of daggers, which they usually look at me with daggers in their eyes. And yeah, it's just really sad. It's really sad. And the shunning's so silly, it's so childish. It's like bullying, it's a form of bullying. But when you think of it, shunning really is a form of bullying. And when you're a little kid, when you used to get shunned by your school friends, when you're a kid and you kind of, oh, don't talk to them. God, don't talk to them. And it's a really cruel game. And you say, look, teacher, that kid is shunning me. And the teacher said, well, don't take it too seriously. They don't have to talk to you. And it's a real cruel mental torture, shunning. And elders can talk to you, and hospitalisation officers can talk to you, but I'm not really in the mood for talking with them because I'm an atheist, agnostic. I'm a Christian atheist. I'm a Christian atheist. I don't think Christianity is such a bad thing at all, and I don't mind if people are Christians. And with my wife, her religious belief in the paradise is the only thing that keeps her sane. The only thing that really keeps her sane is actually the hope of everlasting life on a paradise earth. And my wife can't have children because she's got varicose veins in her stomach. And Jehovah's Witnesses told her that one day she can have children in paradise, and she can see her dead mother in paradise. And I said to my beautiful wife Nicole, I said, look, if there really is a God of love, if there really is a God of love, I'm going to be with you in paradise, Nicole, because I'm sure if there really was a God of love, he wouldn't be upset that someone didn't really believe in him. Because to me, God is a bit like a deadbeat dad. God's like a deadbeat dad that hasn't written to his children in 2,000 years. Hasn't written to his kids in 2,000 years. Oh, wait a minute. No, he did write to us in 1830 to Joseph Smith. But he got the angel Moroni to write to Joseph Smith with these golden plates. So he did write to us in the year 1830. So God did write to us in the year 1830. And of course God talks to the governing body members every month when they have their annual meeting at Watchtower. They get new light from Jehovah. So Jehovah does talk to the 11 governing body members every month when they have their annual meeting. And how do we know this? Because the spiritual food that Jehovah's Witnesses get, the spiritual food by the faithful and discreet slave at Jehovah's table. Aren't we brothers and sisters spiritually nourished with this spiritual food that the faithful and discreet slave feeds us at Jehovah's sumptuous feast? You know, and it's just all this kind of, he talks to them. Why doesn't he talk to us, rank and file Jehovah's Witnesses? Or why doesn't he talk to us ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and say, look, here I am, I'm Jehovah God, you've left me, please come back. I'd come back. I'd come back. I said, well, fair enough, Jehovah, I'll come back now you're real. I believe in you, I'll come back. As long as you're nice, as long as you're kind, as long as you don't make any more babies get born with cleft palates. Do you know what a cleft palate is? A cleft palate is when a baby is born with no upper lip. Just under their nose they've got nothing, they've just got teeth. So a cleft palate, they've got no top lip. Now, according to the Bible, we're all born sinners. We're all born sinners, right? According to the Bible. How come a little kid with a cleft palate gets punished more than someone who looks like Elvis Presley or Marilyn Monroe? How come Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley got born with such good looks, but some little kid gets born with a cleft palate? Or what about cross-eyed? A little cross-eyed baby. What did they do to deserve their cross-eyed? Did they sin more than a baby that has beautiful eyes and doesn't need glasses? What about Siamese twins who are joined at the hip? Siamese twins that are joined at the hip when they're born, joined at the hip. What type of love is that? Did those Siamese twins get more punishment because they were sinners than someone who was born like in the royal family of England, someone who's born in the royal family of England, to get it pretty good. What about the little kid that's born in Africa, starves to death? They get born and they starve to death. Or what about these people who are born with cirrhosis of the liver, brain tumours, heart defects, babies that are born with holes in their heart? Now, I have to really say that I believe that we're all born into a cruel evolutionary machine. We're all born into a cruel evolutionary machine. A cruel evolutionary machine that doesn't care about us. It's just like a roulette wheel. You don't know where the roulette ball's going to land. And you be born with good health, born with good looks, you can be born with a good voice, you can be born like this, good looking. And it's funny, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, Justin, you had a hard life, you lost your mother when I was 1, she died at the age of 30, my dad suicided when I was 8, he was 38, my sister suicided when she was 36, I was 33 at the time. I've had a hard life." Well, we all have hard lives. We all had hard lives. The royal family has a hard life. Elvis Presley had a hard life. The Beatles had a hard life. We all have hard lives. But life can also be very good. I was born with good looks. I got born with good looks, so I'm not going to, So we must be happy we got to be born, be grateful we won the lottery of life. So whoever you are watching this video, if you have good health or bad health, just think that you won, you didn't lose. You may think you're a loser, you may think you're a born loser, but you're not. You're a winner because you won the lottery of life. The chances of you being born were a lot greater. I mean, very, very small, very small. And when you think of it, I believe that in every galaxy, there's thousands of planets, millions of planets in each galaxy. Maybe only one planet in each galaxy has life on it. And to me, if there truly was a God, a loving God, there would be life on all the planets. All the planets would have life on them. Healthy life, happy lives. They wouldn't get little kids born with cleft palates and cross-eyed and, the horrible birth defects. It's mutations. And a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses and Christians should really look into evolution. Now, I never used to think about natural selection. I never really knew what natural selection was. But I'll give you example. I'll give you example. Now, if you're born in Northern Europe, you'll usually have fair skin, pale white skin, and white skin absorbs more sunlight, more vitamin D, so you'll be a lot healthier, so you get to breed and have more children. So don't forget, evolution is not the survival of the fittest, it's the survival of the most sexually reproductive. Evolution is not survival of the fittest, survival of the most sexually reproductive. So if you can have, the more kids you have, if you pass on favourable genes. So if you're born with fair skin in Northern Europe, you'll get more vitamin D, you'll be healthier. You're born with dark skin, you may not absorb as much sunshine, vitamin D, which is bad for your health. But if you have dark skin and you're born in Africa or around the equator, your rich melanin skin, your skin with a lot of melanin in it, protects you from the sun. It protects you from the sun. So brown eyes and brown skin and black hair is the best colour to have in a hot, sunny climate. like Australia. The best skin colour to have in Australia is black. The best eye colour to have in Australia is brown or black, because that protects you from the ultraviolet light of the sun, and it stops you getting too much vitamin D. I have very pale blue eyes. My eyes are very pale bluey green, right? I have very pink white skin. I was born in Australia. My mum and dad were born in Australia. Their parents were born in Australia, but our ancestry comes from Scotland, which probably usually comes from the Vikings from Scandinavia. Now, what happens, if you are born with white skin in Australia, you will get more skin cancers. You're going to get more skin cancers which kill. Melanomas kill. Skin cancer kills. And Australia has one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world, and because white skin gets skin cancer, melanomas, and you die, and you don't get to have children, you don't get to reproduce. So the best skin colour to have in Australia is brown or black skin, brown eyes. That's natural selection. That's what natural selection is. So when you get a mutation, of some sort, most mutations are harmful, like cleft palates, right? Most mutations are harmful, like cleft palates, right? Or cross-eyed, that's a bad mutation. But if your lens on your eye is adjusted just a little bit better, you're going to have really good eyesight. You're going to have really good eyesight. And in nature, you get little worms that have eyes like pinhole cameras, that just like a shoebox with a pinhole, and you shine the torch in and you get a beam of light. But that stops that little grub or worm from banging into things, and then you get eagles. Now, eagles have got eyes. An eagle can see a mouse on the ground 2 miles up in the sky. 2 miles up in the sky. Imagine if humans had eyesight like eagles. So human eyesight isn't the best. People don't have the best eyes, right? Eagles have better eyes, but we've got better eyes than grubs and worms, So that's natural selection. So when the grub has a little mutation that makes its lens a little bit better, that's an improvement. So that worm reproduces more, and that favourable mutation will be passed on, because not all mutations are bad. If you're born with 6 fingers, 6 fingers is better than 5 fingers, because if you're born with 6 fingers, you can play the piano and pick your nose at the same time. So that's a good mutation. So evolution, all evolution is mutations. That's all it is. Sometimes you get bad mutations in the human brain. Sometimes the synapses in the brain and the neurons aren't connected properly, and the dendrites in the brain aren't connected properly, and you'll get children born with schizophrenia. Children who are born with schizophrenia, right? You'll have gay children. So you've got about just under 5% chance of having a gay baby. And even recent studies have suggested that even psychopaths like Ted Bundy, the serial killer, right? He had an abnormal brain. Now, Ted Bundy, the serial killer, he was born with good looks, he had a wife and he had children, but he murdered over 20 women and girls. He murdered over 20 women and girls. Why did he do that when he had such good looks? Why did he do that when he had a wife and children of his own? Why did he go out and murder over 20 women and children, right? Now, he got the electric chair in 1989 at the age of 42. He was born with an abnormal brain. And I was watching a 60 Minutes program. Watched this program on 60 Minutes. It was a couple of years ago, and it was called Pervert Park, right? Pervert Park. In America, all these sex offenders who get let out of jail for molesting children, right, or looking at child porn, they get imprisoned. But when they get let out of prison, they're not allowed to be near schools or anything, right? Now, what happens, they interviewed these sex offenders, and a lot of them said that they liked kids when they were sexually attracted to children when they were young teenagers, and doctors and medical scientists now say that people may be born pedophiles. They may have a loose connection in the brain where when someone looks at a child, the brain doesn't connect properly to nurturing, because most people want to be a parent, they want to nurture and care, but these sexual perverts or pedophiles, the brain isn't connected and they're sexually attracted to children. And I think a lot of priests just don't like women. I think a lot of priests are sexually attracted to children, just don't like women ever, right? So they have that perversion in their... So they're born with a faulty brain. They're born with a faulty brain. But if they carry out that crime of child molestation, lock them up in jail. Lock them up in jail, you know? And because they've committed a horrible crime, right? There is a lot of pedophiles out there who are sexually attracted to children, but who don't act on that desire. They don't act on that desire, right? They call them virtuous pedophiles. But people who molest children are called child molesters, and they should be locked up. And one day they may be able to do brain surgery, right? One day they may be able to do brain surgery, right, on psychopaths, on pedophiles, on maybe transgender people. If they do brain surgery where they fix up that part of the brain that isn't connected properly, like fix up that part of the brain that is not connected the way it should be connected, with the synapses and the dendrites and the neurons and do brain surgery on them, and you may cure them of that desire. And even transgender people are born with a faulty brain. They're born with a faulty brain. They may have the male or female genitalia, but their brain may be the exact opposite. And their brain may be telling them, hey, even though you've got a dick, you're a woman, a cock, you're a woman, and even if you're a vagina, you're a man, you're a he-man. And it's the brain. So people are born with faulty brains, and it's got nothing to do with sin. It's got nothing to do with original sin. It's got nothing to do with Adam and Eve. It's all about genetics. The roulette wheel of genetics, because we're all stuck inside a cruel evolutionary machine that doesn't care about us, that doesn't know we exist, and has no idea we're even here or cares about us. And that's pretty upsetting to the religious. And to me, it makes so much more sense. It makes so much more sense why are the people the way they are. I was watching a documentary on chimpanzees. Now, chimpanzees do land theft, and chimpanzees do genocide. They murder each other and sometimes eat each other. So a group of male chimpanzees will spot another group of chimpanzees in another forest, and they'll kill those chimpanzees, eat some of them, and so they're stealing their land, they're stealing their fruit trees, and taking their women. Now, if there really was a God of love, why would he allow chimpanzees to act so horribly? And in Africa, there has been human babies stolen and eaten by chimpanzees, because chimpanzees are carnivores, but but chimpanzees are also cannibals. So chimpanzees are also cannibals. Humans have been cannibalistic, just like chimpanzees. Humans are genocidal, just like chimpanzees. Chimpanzees practice land theft. Humans practice land theft and genocide. If you read the Old Testament in the Bible, the book of Joshua, about how they stole the land, killed all the men, killed all the boys, and took the women. Took the women for themselves, and they had God's backing. God said, "You're my people, go kill them all." Well, when you read that, that's like watching a nature documentary on chimpanzees. Watch a documentary on chimpanzees and you'll see. When it comes, now we share 98.8% DNA with a chimpanzee. And when you look at bonobos, now bonobos are related to chimpanzees. They share 98.8% DNA with humans too. And where orangutans and gorillas only share 95% DNA with humans. So orangutans and gorillas only share 95% DNA with chimpanzees. So chimpanzees are closer to us than they are to gorillas and orangutans and gibbons, right? Now, with homosexuality, right, and lesbianism, bonobos, they look a little bit like a chimpanzee. They're more human-like. I think bonobos look more like humans than chimpanzees. But with bonobos, they practice homosexuality, lesbianism. The girls have sex with each other, the boys have sex with each other, and they copulate with each other. Now I have to end the call because my wife, wait.